What's up, guys? Dakota here, and this is going to be a new series I'm starting, and it's going to be my card spotlight. And I want to try to do this as often as possible, just when I kind of see a card that's kind of amazing, that was either undervalued or not really even valuable, just a really good card that I think more people should be playing. And to start it off, probably one of the best sideboard cards you can have in Modern right now in Surgical Extraction. Surgical Extraction is a Phyrexian black mana, so you can either pay 2 life or black mana for an instant that lets you choose a card in a graveyard other than a basic land, and you can search its owner's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as that card and exile them, and that player shuffles his or her library. Why is this good? Well, for starters, in Modern, in the format you'll see it in, or even in Legacy, where you can be a good home for it. You knock a card out of their graveyard, and with how much removal is in Modern, it's very easy to just be able to say turn one you play a land, say go, and they try to turn one play a dork, and you can just kill the dork and then surgical it. Obviously, that's not what you want to be doing, but in theory, if you're playing against like Death Shadow or something like that, where this card is very good, you could just fatal push their Tarmogoyf or their Death Shadow, and you get information on their hand. You get all their big threat out of their deck, their Death Shadows, and you just get all this information and stuff. You know what's in their deck. You just know everything, and it's even important with this card that you can even get information on how they sideboard it if it's in the second or third game. Obviously, in the third game, it doesn't really matter as much as we get to do it in the second game, but it's a really good card in the sense that you can easily just get information by paying 2 life and getting rid of a card that's, at worst, you're getting rid of a card that they need, and it's a basic land. So if for whatever reason it's relevant, you can target a land, other lands like Stomping Ground, their shock lands, their creeping tar pits, all that. So it makes it like a really good toolboxy card in a non-toolboxy way, because you can just hit whatever card you have the most problem with dealing. So you could like turn one Thoughtseize, take their thing, and then surgical it on the same turn. So it just makes it, and all before your opponent gets to do anything. So that has to give some kind of like testament or some kind of value to this card just being insane, that you could turn one discard spell into surgicaling it away without them having the chance to do anything with it, or to be able to try to get it back and disrupt your surgical from doing anything. And again, it exiles it. The only 2 cards that exiling them doesn't really do anything is Mist Hollow-Griffin and the Eldrazi that pays 3 that you can cast from exile. But I mean, you're not exiling those because those cards aren't really that relevant compared to the cards that you could be surgicaling, and like one of like 2 of those cards are only played in Legacy in a deck, not really played in any other deck, and the other one sees some kind of fringe play in Modern. But in all reality, Surgical Extraction is probably one of the best sideboard cards you can have in Modern right now, and it's kind of right in holding its $20 bill because it is that good of a card. I remember when they were less than like $10. I think they were down to like $5 or $6 at one point, and I wish I would have gotten more, but it's just too good of a card not to be playing if you're playing in Modern or even in Legacy. It's definitely worth putting in like 1 or 2 spots for. It is a great card, not a 4 of in sideboards, but definitely at least a 2 of, maybe even a 3 of, if you really wanna go there. I know for like combo decks, you probably want to be playing 3 to 4 of these if you're just like a Jund or an obs on deck, you probably want to be playing 2 to 3. But that's gonna wrap up for the first episode of this card spotlight. Surgical Extraction, very powerful card, can basically be the thing that wins you the game, even on turn one before anything even happens. Like against Lantern Control, you could snipe their bridge. There's nothing they can do about it. I could go on and on about it. I'm gonna stop here with it because I know that just if I keep throwing out this information, then this is gonna be like half hour of me talking about how good Surgical can be in some situations and even better in a lot of others. But if you enjoyed or you want to see more videos like this, just make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you want more content like this. I want to try to do one every day. Probably won't be possible, considering I probably run out of cards before I get to do it every day, or cards I deem worthy enough to kind of be spotlighted. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next episode.